So this video is showing off my Tai Seng VHS tapes, my Pan Asia Video Inc. VHS, and Rainbow Audio and Video Incorporation VHS collection that I have. And so I have a few of them, and I'll start with these two. So they all come with these clamshells, and which is cool. It's very reminiscent of the video store era. And so going into your rental store, you would find these, and I think this is actually, I believe these came originally in these cases. So this is the Burning Paradise Part A, as well as Part B. So you can see the tape 1 and tape 2. And this was very common for, I think, several reasons. One, I think the quality of splitting a film into, this is one film to the best of my knowledge. I've never watched this yet, but cutting a film in half helps with the quality of tape 1 and then quality of tape 2, as well as people renting these would have to pay two separate fees. I guess you're paying a fee to rent a tape. If there's two tapes, you're going to want to watch both, so you would pay double. And so this would be very common in these releases. And some of them only have one tape, and it's just one whole movie on one tape, and then there's part 1, part 2 on many other releases. But this is Burning Paradise, and a lot of these tapes look very much the same. So without the label, you'd they look very similar. So it's deciphering the 1 and the 2. So, or the Part A and Part B. But that's just an example of basically how this system operated from me. That's just things that I've heard and read. So that's Burning Paradise, tape 1 and 2. Those in the back. Now, I have a lot of tapes which are, I only have several that are Part A's and Part B's, or Part 1 and 2. So a lot of these did come on one tape, but there's a couple I think that I only have one tape for. It's just so happens that's how it worked out. So I will show off Jet Li's Fong Sayuk. So this is Fong Sayuk 2, tape A, tape 2, or Part A and Part B. So these are with Cantonese and Mandarin language with English subs. So these were, I believe, the imports. Tai Seng was, I think, primarily the import company that would release Hong Kong film and different Asian films in the United States, to where they were bilingual. Some of them were dubbed, some of them were not. So I like these cases. They are a little hard to get. Wow. So this is either a typo or something to that extent. So we have Fong Sayuk 2 Part B and Fong Sayuk Part B, but tape 1 and tape 2. It's just, I'm not sure if that was a error. It should be Part A, Part B, tape 1, tape 2, but it just seems to be, maybe it was an error at some point, somehow. So I'm assuming that it's tape A, so it's part A. So, anyway, that is Feng Sayuk 2. These spines look pretty cool. Burning Paradise has similar for tape 1 and tape 2, but Feng Sayuk, different colors, which is cool. And so an example of a one tape, as opposed to splitting the film in two, is I have Feng Sayuk number 1, and it's just one tape. And the label is a bit rough, but this is one that is probably, it's spaced out differently. I don't know what this tape speed is or the quality. The quality for having one tape, but this is part 1 and it seems to be on one tape, whereas part 2 is split into 2, but it's the same company, it's Tai Seng, and I'm not entirely sure how they worked all this out. So, just sort of worked that way. I don't know if it was the duration of the movie and they decided based on that how they were going to split it up, or whether they weren't going to split it at all. So I now have the Tai Chi Master Part A and Part B, 1 and 2. So this these films, like I said, were released to be kind of like imports, I believe, versions of the movies, and they were also available on Laserdisc from Tai Seng, and they did sort of the same thing. Some Laserdiscs would have 2 discs, some would just be the movie on 1 disc, and I don't know if it was more expensive to rent a disc as opposed to a VHS tape. So maybe they made more money by splitting them up that way, I suppose. So I have Once Upon a Time in China. And I have Once Upon a Time in China 2, Part A. You can see the title there at the top, but no Part B. I don't have Part B. So when it says Part A, I assume there's a Part B, unless it's another typo. But Once Upon a Time in China. So I have all these movies basically on a disc format, but I love the way I can collect these. I do collect a lot of things. I don't always deliberately go out of my way to buy things I already have, but these were relatively cheap and I like them, and I didn't have access to all these. There's a typo, or it should say Once Upon a Time in China. But and also this is Once Upon a Time in China 2, and it doesn't say Part 2 on the tape, so it's just confusing. So that's tape 1. Should be moving. It's over there. So and so I have Iron Monkey Part A and Part B. Let's do this a little different. So this is the Donnie Yen film, and so very popular. I remember seeing this in the rental store, but it was the American release, and I had never seen it at the time. I think that's when it first come out on the new, back around the early 2000s. I remember it being, it was very, very possible to get these movies because that was the martial arts craze that I grew up with, and they were becoming more accessible, but they weren't just imports. They were like the official American release. They did tamper with these movies a lot, but for people that didn't have access to a lot at the time, it was better than nothing. I am of the mindset that I like to have the authentic version of them, but I did grow up with a lot of these, so I still regard them as, I'm still sentimental toward the American versions of these. So, another one. This is the film Butterfly and Sword. It's real tiny up here, but it's Tony Leung, Michelle Yeoh, Donnie Yen is in this, and Joey Wong. And this is a one tape deal. But these are just, whether they're part of the collection to actually watch or just part of the collector aspect. Regardless, they're still cool looking. The spines, they look great on a shelf. Sort of as decoration, but I can still watch them if I choose to watch it on VHS instead of DVD one day, or on Blu-ray. I do have some of these on Laserdisc, which it's always really cool just to throw in a Laserdisc, and very enjoyable. I have a lot of fun doing it. One of the ones I have on Laserdisc, I believe, yeah, this is the one tape deal. The Laserdisc is one tape, or one disc. That is Tai Chi 2. This is not Tai Chi Master. This is different. So, Tai Chi 2. Cool color scheme they have on a lot of these. So, somebody took very much, they took very good care of these when they owned them, and I found a seller. I got these off of a very good seller, very nice person, and I always look forward to discovering movies through here, because some of these I don't think have a legitimate international or American release. What Place Survival? I have not watched this one yet, but it's another one this is new to me, and I only know about it through this label, the Tai Seng VHS tapes here. And so I am discovering a lot of these through here that I otherwise might not have known, and it's always like a new experience. It reminds me of back in the day when I first got into Asian cinema, and I was always so excited to find something new. And a lot of times, yes, it was a new Jackie Chan movie, so Jackie Chan wasn't new to me, or Jet Li wasn't new to me, but the movie was. But when you got something that it wasn't one of the main superstars, international superstars that we that was becoming real big here, like Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Chow Yun-fat, Michelle Yeoh, it was still very entertaining to see one of these, and just a new experience. And I can still get that 20 plus years later through getting these older movies, and slowly a lot of them are getting upgraded Blu-ray releases, which is very nice. I have also the Heroic Trio with Maggie Chung, Anita Mui, and Michelle Yeoh. So this one I know got, I believe, a TriStar DVD here in America, which I only ever seen once around and never bought it, and then I couldn't find it, and over the years it has become more available, but and easier to track down. But that is the Heroic Trio, and here is the sequel, Executioners, with the trio. So I wish that these would get a more wide Blu-ray release.